Alright. Let's see. I apologize for being very red. The normal lamp has been broken by accident, and the only replacement that I have is this novelty Halo red elite sword, which is bright as fuck, powered by actual plasma, and so it's just sort of a ways off that way, in the hopes that it can adequately light me. We are going to get that other one fixed, because I've had that one for years. It's like a tree lamp. Right. So I'm doing this little stream. We're on the eve of 300,000 subscribers. Fucking hell. But about 25 away. Whether we get to that figure now or later, it doesn't really matter. It's inevitable, right? Or maybe it isn't. Who knows? Maybe this is just a one big embarrassment. But yeah, one would assume. So I'm just going to do this now. Because, whatchamacallit? Well, this is the only really time to do it, isn't it? Because I've got like other things, you know. So I thought I'd give everyone like a little update. A little update on how things are going. I'm not actually all that sick. I feel fine. You know, I just have a little bit of a cough. So I wouldn't worry too much about that. So Carmen's worse. Carmen's worse. Right, so Christmas is over. That's all done. Mass home invasion complete. So the plans going forward are as follows. So this is Amygdala First Edition. You can see that it is Amygdala First Edition by the fact that it has First Edition written in it. This is what's been available for almost the past year. This will not be available ever again very soon, because the second edition is currently being worked on now. I've contacted the typesetter. It's the same guy that did this book, and I've given him my commands. And the changes are as follows. The margins for the book, for the pages, I feel are not generous enough in terms of height. So what we're going to do is we're going to elevate the margins by 2 points, just a little bit, and we're going to widen them this way toward the end of the page by, you know, maybe a pixel or 2 pixels, to fit more on the page. We're also going to reduce the line spacing by a little bit as well. You will not notice this with the naked eye. It's a very small change. But what that does is it actually fits 2 or 3 more lines on each page. And that will result in the book being thinner. I have here a Game of Thrones. A lot of you may know this book. This book's line margins are a bit more what I want. As you can see, it's much closer to the top, and generally there's more that can be fit on the page. This book is almost exactly the same length of Amygdala, if not a bit longer. But as you can see, Amygdala is much thicker. Right? So once this has been adjusted, Taylor, fuck off. I will not have that. Clickbait. What do you mean? Let's see where we're at now. Let's have a look. We're at 200,900. Okay, we are. Let's do the math here. We are 22 subscribers away exactly. Right? There we go. 22 subscribers away. So it's not clickbait, you fuck. So anyway, once Amygdala has been adjusted into the second edition, it will be about this thickness instead of this thickness, which will make it much more malleable and cheaper, right? So I could keep the price the same and take a larger profit margin, but I never intended to sell it for as much as it is now. That came as a big surprise to me. Probably shouldn't have done. So I'm just going to reduce the price flat. So I'll be making the same on each copy, but you won't need to spend as much. Of course, it will still be in full colour print, so it will probably still be a bit on the... Oh, the thumbnail. Oh shit, yeah, that's a good point. The thumbnail for the stream. Oh, hang on a minute, let me just... Oh yeah. Shad's probably gonna drop a bollock. Oh fuck. What do I do? There we go. Does that work? Oh. Shad, if you're watching this, alright? You're still wrong. You lost that debate, man. I'm sorry. Okay. Anyway, so with the margins adjusted, it will fit more on the page. The line spacing as well is something that I think is a bit too generous. And yeah, so a thinner book, a cheaper book. And also, there are going to be 3 new sections added to the book, which don't fix any plot holes or contrivances in the book, because to my knowledge there aren't any. It's been out for a year and I haven't had any reported yet. But I have had some feedback on the clarity of one particular character and her relationships with others. And I think these 3 extra parts, though short, definitely address that and meet that up a bit. So small adjustments, but they do generally improve the understanding of one's motivations. So I've added those in. They're new parts, and you will find them throughout the book. There are also some minor changes as well that I've snuck in there. Nothing major though. It's the same book, of course. Another change will be illustrations. Nathaniel is getting a second illustration. Greta is getting a third illustration, and Butika's illustration will now feature possibly Goldoon. Me and Carmen had a discussion about giving Goldoon his own illustration page, but considering he's only in chapter 1, I know, massive spoiler, but like he's not really in the book as much as one might expect. So we are going to illustrate him, but we're going to put him in Butika's illustration, so it will be like Sally Sefton's illustration that features Lucy. So you'll have Butika at the forefront, and then you'll have Goldoon, sort of in the background, so you can see. Polly again might not get an illustration. She will be depicted in the upcoming animation, which I'll get to later. The reason again. Polly will be depicted. I'll get to that. Well, I might as well just talk about that now since we're on the topic of illustrations. We are also going to add in the Inca illustrations. So, in the book, there are newspaper articles and various clippings that you can read along with the characters. And so, when, for example, a character reads about a topic and it's illustrated, you will get to see the illustration in black and white. So you'll get to see, the incident and how it was depicted in the paper. I think that just helps with immersion, and it's an excuse to throw in another style. And another adjustment, I think, this is on we're discussing this because we don't want to. This is unlikely, but we're talking about maybe some extra environment illustrations. The reason I'm not so much for the environment illustrations is because when I'm reading a book, I really like to imagine the environments and paint my own picture. And I think that's part of the magic. The reason the characters are illustrated is because there are a lot. And historically, when books have a lot of characters, for example, but let's look at Game of Thrones. If you go to the back of any big book, any big sci-fi political drama book, you will have a sort of a list of sorts. It's like an appendix of here we go. It's literally called the appendix, and it has you have House Baratheon, and you have the list of the characters and what they do. Right? I fucking hate this. I hate it. It's awful. It's terrible book construction. Why? Why do I hate it? Well, because when I'm reading the book and I see, oh, okay, here's Joffrey Baratheon, I think, which one was that again? Oh, I'll scroll to the back of the fucking book, shall I? Find the fucking page. There we go, there's Baratheon. Joffrey Baratheon, no, J. Which one was Joffrey? Joffrey. There he is. Oh, okay. Now I've got to find the fucking page again. So I didn't want to do that. Instead, I did something, in my opinion, far more intelligent, which is to simply put in a very handy-dandy character illustration, boom, after the character is either introduced or reintroduced. So it's like, oh, Wexel, which one's Wexel? There she is. And then later in the book, when Wexel gets reintroduced, you know, you're reading the book, you're thinking, blah, 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 all these fun and interesting characters. How exhilarating. You know, you're spending time with others, blah, blah, blah. But then, hang on, Wexel shows up again. But wait a minute, we haven't seen Wexel for like maybe 5 or 6 chapters. Which one was Wexel? There we go. A second illustration of Wexel to remind you, this one was Wexel. So as you're reading the book is familiarizing you with the character's name and likeness. And all the illustrations are different. You may get a full body the first time. You may get a close-up the second time. You may get one of them naked. Why not? It's just, it's more engaging book design. I like it. I like the fact that you can turn the page and be immediately reminded of the character, because that's how human memory works. You feel like you know them. You've seen them before. It's like, oh, I know that guy. It's you. It's you, you little cunt. Right? So, yeah. Appendix bad. Integrating your lore and details into the book itself, good. That's also why the book doesn't have a lore thing as well at the back for like their words and what they mean, because in the book, when you hear a word, it will then be explained and reinforced throughout the book. So, for example, in chapter 1, you'll hear them mention, oh, the Yolsh, and then they'll say, yeah, fucking, that Wexel's law enforcers, fucking, and you'll think, oh, okay, Yolsh are law enforcers, and then again, we had a Yolsh in this, but they had 5 strikes. Oh, that must be their rank, you know, a Dalton of 8. Oh, he's 8 ranks out of 10. I see, and then you start to build up a familiarity with the world that you're reading about through the book itself, through the language, and it's called immersion. And when you have to stop reading the book and flip to the back to figure out what a word means or who a character is, you've just broken the immersion. They're out the book. They're literally out the book. They've stopped reading the sentence they're on. It might even be a big twist or a big event, and they've stopped. They're at the back of the book, trying to figure out who the fuck's who. Yeah, and as for the illustration aspect, I just like that. I like illustrations, you know. And plus, also, I would just like to mention, these characters are not human. There's a lot about them that cannot be assumed, which can be important narratively speaking. For example, when you have 2 human characters and they're having a fight, you can assume that they both have hands. They're both between 5 and 6 feet. They have relatively the same reach and the same utilities. Your mind paints this picture. But when you have, for example, Lucy Lacemaker, who stands at 3.5 feet, and then you have a character like Helgen, who can rise to fucking 40 feet, this gigantic python of a lady. These are two very different characters with two very different instruments at their disposal. Lucy has a tail. Maybe she can use that to reach a brick. You know? Helgen has fangs and long hair. Maybe that can be pulled. So depicting the characters in a very visual way is very important to me. Because there's a lot about them that cannot be assumed. You can't just look at them and think, oh, well, they're probably just a human, aren't they? Or they're just a human shape. Well, no, this one's shaped like a fucking centipede. And that one over there, that's a worm. And this one's more like a fucking dog. And this one, you know what I mean? So it's like there's all sorts of things, what they can and can't do with their bodies. And I miss illustrations in books. I mean, some people, you know, yeah, but you know, fucking illustrations in books used to be everywhere. They were a very powerful thing because it's an art form, you know. They you know, I remember one of my favorite. You know, they had the. My mum used to read me The Faraway Tree, or The Magic Faraway Tree, or something, or some such book. The Chronicles of Narnia. They had little illustrations. I remember reading the, you know, the one before Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. It was the one about the you know, the origins and stuff, and they had like these nice little illustrations now and again that would show you the witch moving through the dark, and it was eerie and nice. And you know, a lot of Grimm's fairy tales had illustrations. I like that. I you know what, I like things that respect your attention, that make you feel like you're not wasting your time. And this can be said of like even the smallest of little embellishments. Like when there's an empty page, I insisted that every empty page was filled with a piece of artwork. There's floral motifs at the chapters, and also whenever there's a chapter break, instead of an asterisk, there's an eye. There's like a civic eye, which indicates a perspective change. So just little things like that really make the book feel like your own. It feels like it respects you as a reader. It's not just willing to you know, take your attention for granted. It's there to hold it. But anyway, that said, those are the changes to the second to the book that are going to create the second edition. So to summarize, the book is going to be thinner. It's going to have some altered illustrations and some new ones, and that includes the Inca illustrations. Environment illustrations, probably not, but me and Carmen are still working on an art book, which will basically have like all sorts of things in there, and you know, we're gonna let fly on that, and we're gonna show everyone, you know, everything really. So yes, so those are the. I'll tell you what, you want to see something fucking funny? I mean, you want to talk about margins? Look at the Lord of the Rings. I mean, look at that. That's like fucking dense as shit. You know? I mean, fuck. They squeezed a lot onto these pages. But you know, I don't want the text to be that small. But yeah. Right. Oh, let me just stick these on the shelf. Ugh. Fuck. Let me read through some of these chat things. Right, what the fuck's going on? Right, it's not telling me anything. Alright, okay, give me 1 second. So I can't read that name. Somebody donated like $4.99. I can't read their name. It's too small. Little Devil Da. Can someone? I'm sorry. Someone you don't know asked. Honestly, I would love to see at least one full illustrated chapter, as in image chapter, like a comic. Well, maybe one day. Oh, Little Devil Darling. Sorry, it cuts off for me. I can only see like the start of their name and it doesn't finish, so it just says Little Devil Da on my screen. I do not need fucking glasses Jesus Christ. It's cut off. Right. So, what was I saying? Okay, yeah, so in terms of other projects, I'm going to continue the Amygdala animated series, which are basically taking scenes from the book and adapting them into animation. There will also be some character animation tests as well this year. Methuselah and Lockett are getting theirs. Probably Gatsby and Ludwig as well. I'll see. I'll try and fit them in. Thank you, Kumquat Guardian, for the $2. Incredible name. So yeah, the next animation that I'm going to do is a bit of a just a bit of a fun one. It's Lee was over here over New Year. Lee is the voice actress for Lucy Lacemaker, and we were just in the office, you know, fucking around, and we did like a little recording. So I'm gonna animate that just as a little break, and then after that I'm going to work on the next Amygdala animated, which is going to be from chapter 2, part 3, the Toy Maker, and it's going to be the full part, which is the part where Celia investigates the toy shop, Polly's tab, and and we meet Polly. So you're going to see a lot of interesting stuff there. I've been working on my scenery, and you know, Bernadette was sort of like the big trial by fire to see if I could really do that. So the answer is yes, I can. My hair's a fucking mess. I'm just seeing it on the camera. Oh my god. You see, I just gotta fucking just try to. I give up. So you will see Polly. And then after that, I'm going to do some character animation tests and stuff like that. The work on book 2 is going to continue. I'm gonna be writing on weekends starting next month. The reason that I haven't stormed ahead yet is purely because I've been doing the audiobook. Which brings me to my next topic, the audiobook. So the recording for the audiobook is essentially done. We do need to go and redo some bits. Sean sent $7.77. Just wanted to give you a heads up, your volume is low. Oh, that's probably because I'm like far away. Is that better? Is that any better, guys? Can you hear me now? Okay. I'll lean forward a bit. Right. So the audiobook, we've essentially finished recording, and we are now in the editing phase, which is basically cutting out all the parts where I burp, or go fucking hell, or get their voice wrong. So that's what we're doing now. We're approaching the halfway point on that. After that comes the mixing, which is where I'm going to be working with my uncle and my dad. But basically, it's a full Fenner production. My uncle Al is a sound engineer. He has his own studio, and that's where we've been recording it. So it's all controlled by the family. So I haven't hired anyone to do this. It's narrated by me. Sound engineer is my uncle, and then my dad is going to assist with the sound design. So, on the topic of the sound design, we're going to have a little bit of music to open up each chapter. Some little some stings and motifs to make the book feel more authentic. So that the plan is to release it by the end of February. The reason I haven't announced any date yet is because I'm not rushing on this one. I'm not really that bothered if it releases in February or not. It could be March for all I care. What matters is it gets done correctly, that it's done properly, because the book's out. You can buy it now, and fuck, if you want the book cheap, get the ebook. It's like $9. So there's like, if you want, once the audiobook's done, it will be like, you will have like you'll be able to experience this book however you want for the amount of money that you want. If you want the luxurious hardcover, then yeah, sure, $50. If you want the paperback, $40. This is after the second edition comes out, so I'm hoping to reduce the price. And then if you want the audiobook, $15, $20, I don't know, we'll see. And then the ebook, $9. So you have this scale here. So you'll be able to like actually buy the book, fucking however you want. The reason I say dollars is because most of my audience is American. So yeah, the audiobook will be out very soon in the next few months. 1,000 Nod sent $2. Keep up the good work. I will. And then Alicia Barrett sent £2 saying hello from Harlow, UK. Is the audio voice acted? It's voice acted by me. You're thinking of the audio drama, which I mentioned. We're going to do an audio drama, but one thing that I'm considering is doing the audio dramas once all the books are finished. And the reason I say that is because the audiobook has been so much fucking work. Like, we started in August of last year, and it's been every week me going into the studio reading for 4 hours. It's been. I mean, we're looking at like 40 hours of recording now. It's been a lot. The Rogue, Firo, $10. Is there a law reason Gatsby's eyes appear pupilless? Or is it just an aesthetic choice? Just curious. You don't have to answer if it's spoilery. It's just an aesthetic choice. Like the Kivik eye scenario is like you have mutations just as you do in nature. So Gatsby's eyes would be a mutation. It's sort of implied that he can't see very well. He can still see pretty sharply, but it's similar to Sombra's eyes. Sombra's eyes also don't have pupils, but he can see. So there are mutations and oddities that you will find in the Kivuak that do sometimes break the rules. Similar to human beings, you will come across a human that has heterochromia, where their eyes don't match or some such thing, and that's completely natural. So those things can also happen in the Kivuak. And it allows people to be just a little bit more creative if they want to be. I don't like restricting creativity. So the Kivuakian like DNA was designed purposefully to allow people to make whatever they want, to really experiment with their character design choices and their own style. And the great thing for me is that if you create a Kivuakian like OC or a character, and then you decide that you like that character too much and you want to do something with it yourself, you can divorce the character from the Kivik world with little fuss. There's like just one or two things that you would need to change, and then the character's the same. So you can, do that. There isn't any like design blueprint that you're going to get in trouble for using, like a lot of other creative IPs that are very strict and bully people essentially if they don't follow the rules. I stand firmly in the corner of creative freedom. So yeah, What was I saying? I was saying something before. What was I talking about before? Someone remind me. Sean Jolly, $5. How many books have been sold so far? I can check. Yeah. Also, I'll be getting that new graphics card installed in the computer soon. It's just my uncle is unfortunately ill, so we haven't been recording this week. The audio drama. I'll just mention that very quickly first. I was gonna do the audio drama after all 6 books are completed, because recording the audiobook has been so much work that I haven't had. Like when I started the second book, it was like, I was fucking making great progress, and then I started doing the audiobook for Amygdala, and progress has been much slower because like fucking hell, it's exhausting. To be quite frank, it's taxing, especially on the voice. So I don't think it would be proper to jump into an audio drama directly afterwards. However, once the 6-book collection is completed, I think it would be great to then go back and re-release all of them as a full audio drama production, and then maybe adapt them to like animation. I know a lot of people are asking me to adapt them now, like just animate the book and just do that. But I don't want to, because there's 6 books that I have planned for the August View series. I know what's going to happen in all of them. The ending is already in here. I don't have them all in high definition just yet. I know roughly what they're about. I can tell you the names. Of course, they're subject to change, because originally Amygdala was just called the August View, and then the series title was going to be called something else. It was going to be called the Kivik Parody, but I decided the August View was the perfect sort of umbrella title, and then Amygdala was just a great title for the first book. So that there are 6 books in the August View series, and it's book 1, Amygdala, book 2, Falling Through Mandelbrot, book 3, The Glittering Gaps, book 4, A Blood Red Void, book 5, The Satellite City, and book 6, The Lady and the Traveller. Those are the 6 books that I have planned. I have my notes on them. There is a beginning, middle, and end to this story. I'm very happy with the ending, but I need to write them. So, the Satellite City book is not, I can confirm, it will not be set on Earth. It's of no relation to the Satellite City on YouTube, but it is similar in it's very, you'll understand why it's called that. There are elements of the more modern macabre in that book that might be reflective of the Satellite City that you're used to on YouTube, in terms of its modernity, I suppose. Because we're not going to spend all 6 books just in one city, and as we learn, as we already know from the first book, there are other cultures out there. So, that the world is going to expand in a big way, starting with the second book. So I'm going to finish all 6 books before I do any audio dramas or commit to any adaptations. I do want to adapt them to an animated show, but only once they're completed. I think there's an oversaturation of indie animation at the moment, and that means there's plenty for people to enjoy. I'm in no rush. I'm 26. I'm not going anywhere. I've just started this book series, and I think that there will come a time, once the book series is finished, where there will be an open and available place to really push this type of content, because when I do adapt it, I don't want it to be in the same vein as like other things. I want it to be quite a serious telling of the story, because the story is very mature. It is for adults, and I want people to sort of you know, get that feel for it, you know. I think I think adult content in animation is extremely rare. Like, adult animation just doesn't really exist at all, in my opinion. And I understand that there's a lot of animations that swear. I get that, but they're still for kids because of their subject matter, the things that they tackle. They tackle, you know, things that kids are interested in, like, you know, high school romances and flings and stuff like that, and teen drama and angst, and that's all good. But it's like it's for kids that wish they were adults but aren't actually adults, whereas the stuff that I'm writing is for adults because you can't really understand it unless you're an adult, because it talks about things that only adults understand, really. You know, this is something that talks about economy and taxes and politics, and you only really understand that when you've lived in the real world and you've suffered under a lot of these sorts of scenarios. And, you know, like a young child will not understand the stresses of Lockett. Only an adult will understand that. An adult with an aged mind. A teenager won't understand, you know, the issues of Celia, you know, of something, you know, somebody who went to war, somebody who's, you know, fucking suffered this long, laboured history. You can't, you know. You can enjoy it. You can enjoy it, and you will start to understand it as you age. But the book is written for people who have a sort of built-in understanding of these systems already, if that makes sense. Because a lot of the characters are based on, you know, people who are quite old. So yeah, in terms of adult animation, there really isn't much. I'd like to provide adult content that isn't sort of zany comedy. Not that I don't enjoy zany comedy. I fucking love it. There's obviously a huge market for it. I think it should be enjoyed. One of my favourite shows, animated shows, was BoJack Horseman. That's a zany, wacky comedy, you know. But it had really strong elements of the mature, again, that only adults would really understand. So those things do exist. I just finished watching Attack on Titan for the first time with my friends. I loved it. I thought that was a really good show. I was surprised. There were parts of it that were just like, that were confusing me at first, and I was like, well, what the fuck is going on? I do think that, like, the storytelling could have been a bit stronger in some places where this is an anime thing. It's not just Attack on Titan. I've noticed that anime tends to jump the gun on some twists and then they explain them later, which is, I think that's just their way of storytelling. The story itself, though, I really enjoyed. So there is stuff out there for adults. It's just there needs to be more of it. You know, there really does need to be more of it. It's not enough. Sean, again, I wish you the best of luck with these topics. I do believe it's important that these things are brought forward in such a way. Well, I agree, and that's the main thing. I want people to just think about things, like, to really think about things in a more complex way. And I think Amygdala definitely succeeds at that. I can say this now, almost a year after its release, but when I was on this time last year, I was shitting myself because the stuff that that this book talks about, as those of you who have read it will know, it's dark, it's tough, it's not always easy to consider. There's a lot of stuff in there that's, like, quite, you know, like macabre and almost ghoulish, but it's reflective of the world you live in. You live in this world. I didn't come up with this stuff. I just write about it. You know, you go and watch a film like Avatar and they show nature as this wonderful, colourful thing that's just absolutely fucking beautiful, and oh, it's all beautiful, oh god, yeah. You should look at how ducks reproduce. You should look at otters and their many cases of necrophilia. You should see the insect world and parasites, whose entire life cycles it is to burrow into the brains of other animals and kill them. You should see these things. You live in this world. You ever seen a zebra get its face ripped off? You know, it's horrible. Have you ever seen a bunny rabbit eat its kittens because it's stressed? This is your world that you live in. I didn't make it. I didn't create this nightmare. I'm just telling you about it because too many people are far too comfortable ignoring it, and that's always been a problem. It's always been something that I have felt. Yeah, I must help fix. You need to be aware that of the world that you live in, that it's not a particularly nice place, but it can be beautiful, you know, and that you yourself are an animal, and you yourself are capable of dark and wicked deeds. And if you don't think so, you're dangerous. You're very, very dangerous. Because the only way you can regulate yourself and control yourself is if you're aware of the fact that you're a beast. You're a brilliant ape with the precision grip and also the ability to do horrible things. And that's why you need to control yourself. That's why I'm writing these books. To dig it. That's why it's called Amygdala, which is a part of the brain, the amygdala, which is tethered to the fear response. So I wanted to write these books as a way to use fiction and colourful characters to, break down the sort of building blocks of what we are. And a year later, I think I've done all right. You know, the book is still sitting at a full 5 stars, which I didn't expect. When it was at 5 stars when it first came out, I thought, well, that will go down to 4.5 at least. But it hasn't. It's still sat at 5 stars, and I'm very thankful. So the reaction to the book has been incredible. So, you know, it's been wild. I was worried that a lot of people would get upset, but you know, I wanted to believe that the way the book was written in such a way that respected these difficult things. And even though there are some really dark moments in the book, they're written in a way that is I suppose they have an element of well, they're not juvenile, you know. They're written with tact. So I guess people don't mind too much. I will get to these super chats again. Hang on. Can I? Fuck's sake. Okay, here we go. Which one's which? Oh, here we go. Oh, is there a limit to how a kid can look? There are some limitations, yes. Not many, though. Like, I would say that, like, unless it's terribly mutated, it probably wouldn't look like anything like John Carpenter's The Thing, you know? But not really. I mean, they've got. I suppose they've got to follow a certain degree of natural law, I guess. But I very rarely see a Kifuakian design that makes me think, yeah, that's not gonna fly. Wish you all the best of luck with these topics. I do believe it's important that these things are brought forward in such a way. I agree. I think that's what fiction is for. That's why it was invented. It's why we tell stories. Let me say this very quickly. Why Does anyone know why we tell stories? Does anyone actually know the reason why storytelling exists? I'll throw that out there to you guys while I read these. Been here since the first Lucy test. I'm so grateful for everything you've done, your work. This is from Valoroxy, I think. Valoroxy. Been here since the first Lucy test, and I'm so grateful for everything you've done. Your work plus creativity has shaped my artistry ever since. I can't wait to see more of what you create. Keep up the incredible work. And I cannot wait to see what you create. Let's see what people are saying. To explain the word, yes. Caveman propaganda. Alright. Well, the answer is this. So, when, little Jimmy Hibbets wants to go into the woods, but his mum says to him, his dear mama, says, don't go into the woods. There's a witch in there. Right? There isn't really a witch in the forest. But there are poisonous mushrooms and spiders and bees and wolves and dangerous men and women. The witch means those things. The witch is a simple way of explaining something very complicated. And it's not just always fear. It can be something political as well. It's an exchange of ideas, essentially. It's taking something that is very complex about the world and making it simple. For example, the first interracial kiss on television was on Star Trek. Why? Well, because what Star Trek did is it took white people, black people, blue people, robot people, green people, and it put them all on a ship. And it said, they are now going off into space to explore the universe. And you know what everyone did? They sat back and went, oh yeah, that's pretty good. I mean, that one over there is blue. And they illustrated the absurdity of judging people just based on what they look like. Because look at the ship. It's full of people that are just fucking like, what's that guy? He's got like a fucking stick coming out of his head, And so they used fiction to lower the defenses of the country, America, the world, and they had the first interracial kiss, and that's a celebrated moment in media, and for good reason. That's the power of fiction. It's using creative means to explain something, to encourage people to open their minds. Now, let me tell you a little story. And this was told to me by my headmistress, Miss Monroe, in my primary... Oh, God, it was my nursery school, I think. This would be like kindergarten for, like, Americans. But the head teacher, Miss Monroe, she told us this story, and it's always stuck with me. And this encapsulates why I write. There's a man walking through a desert, and he is holding a cloak. The wind says to the sun, I wager you this. With all my power and gusto and strength, I will make that man take off his jacket before you, to remove his cloak. And so the sun accepts this wager. So the wind goes first, and he starts blowing and blowing and blowing and fucking rah. And the man walking through the desert, he fucking clutches to his coat with fucking extraordinary passion and zeal until his fucking knuckles are bone white. He does not let go of the fucking cloak. He's not letting go. The wind fails. And so the sun's turn is up. And what does the sun do? Well, the sun just smiles and rains down gentle warmth And gradually, the man gets hot and takes off his cloak. You see, you don't get through to people by forcing them to agree with you, by bullying them, by scaring them, by attacking them. You don't change the world through force. Force is the anti-mind. It's what you resort to when you've given up. Right? The way you get through to people is to lower their defenses, to make them understand your perspective in a more measured way. And that's why we tell stories. That's literally the reason why we tell stories. It's not escapism or just entertainment. It's like that people always get this on, oh, well, fiction is about escapism. No, it's not. It doesn't have to be. It can be. But it's really about understanding your world. That's what good fiction does, in my opinion. That's what great fiction does. Is that it helps you understand more about yourself and the world in a meaningful way. And it improves you as a human. And allows you to then go forward in a much better manner. So let's continue through these chats. Deerhead, ? £2. Sam, I'm your biggest fan. I like book, Taylor. Thank you, Taylor. Thank you. We need to play a variety of horror games on stream again, because that was fun. So send a message to the chat and we'll do that. The Wanderer for £5. What's the main focus of book 2? The main focus of book 2 is it's a direct follow-up of book 1. So without spoiling book 1, we are going to see where the characters go, how their relationships develop, and a big part of book 2 is takes place outside the city. We are going somewhere new. We're going to meet new people with new ideas. So that's a little hint. Right. Next one. Sean Jolly. The world is not about who is right, but who is left. That's true. That's war for you. Lady Lemon, £4.99. Sorry, can't stay fan. I just wanted to say thank you for an amazing book. Hope you had a happy new year. I hug your fur babies all. Well, I had a very nice new year. I'll tell you about that in a bit. Oh God. Yeah, I've got a story to tell about that in a second though. Barbara Smith, $4.99. I must say your book is complex and the way of writing is unique. I'm excited for future content and the worlds in which it evolves around. Thank you very much. I'm very happy to hear that. Book 2 is on the way. Mechas, cup of tea, Governor. Thank you very much. And I will have a somber animation for you to voice act for soon. And I may actually need your services in the next animation for the Toy Maker, because Dalton is in it. Valoxy, $5. Be sure to drink some water. I've got my tea, but I am regardless. I am craving water. And Sean Jolly again. Thank you so much. From the part about stories, you have you heard of the story The Carrot, the Egg, and the Coffee Bean? No, I haven't. But it sounds like a typical fucking Brothers Grimm tale. You know, the sherbet lemon, the cupboard, and the boy. You know, they've always got these weird fucking things. The 4 table legs, you know, the wandering, tondering weasel, and then they all end with someone getting skinned. So yeah, right. Yeah. So my Christmas. So, oh God. Right then. So me and Carmen went to my mother's house. My brother was there, and my mum's partner was there as well, Gary. Nice guy, Gary. Clever guy. But we were at the table and we were just talking about things, and he brings up Margaret Thatcher, and he's like, oh, wicked woman. And so this debate starts, as it always does, about Margaret Thatcher, because obviously some people believe that she saved the country from the trade unions and fucking brought the country from crisis to prosperity in the 80s. She was in power for 10 years, voted for by the public. She did do a lot of good, objectively speaking. She, the country after her time was far better off than it was before. And so, yeah. But she did close a lot of the factories, especially around Liverpool, and she lost a lot of people their jobs and shit like that. And so, yeah, this whole debate started, and it was kind of fucking hilarious. And then fucking somebody got Margaret Thatcher up on like this AI app, this like character AI, and they were asking her questions that Gary was saying, like fucking, is it true that you did this and that? And we had Margaret Thatcher at the table with us over Christmas, and it all ended with us getting a Christmas message from Margaret Thatcher, which was bizarre. And then my brother got fucking Tyson Fury, the world heavyweight champion, and my brother got him up, and then got called a little sausage by the Tyson Fury AI. So that was my Christmas. Remarkable. Who's this person? Your quality went downhill. Excuse me. Fucking, I want you to do me a favour, my friend. Watch my most recent animation and then go back 3 years and watch any of the videos there, right? And read my book. And then apologise. How? Don't be silly. I think Jacksepticeye, I saw like a fucking, I don't watch Jacksepticeye, but I saw him talking about something like this, and it's like, people say, oh, it's not the same as it was, and then he says, oh, well, actually, it's just, you're not the same as you were. You were probably a kid when you were watching my content then, and now you're an adult and you've got responsibilities and things are a bit shit now. But the content hasn't changed. Well, my content has. It's gotten far better. Fucking delusional. Anyway, doesn't matter. But yeah, so is that all the things? I think so. Yeah, so I missed any. Oh, how many has the book sold? Right, I was going to answer that. So, when a book comes out, within the first year, the general amount that it sells is about 250 copies. That might even be like over the course of most books' lifetime, unfortunately. Amygdala is coming up on 7,000, which is remarkable. 7,000, well, 6,000 copies at the moment is extraordinary. It is an extraordinary number for a book priced at what it's at, and the fact that it is self-published. Because let me tell you this, most published books don't sell that many in the first year. I know of a lot of well-known books, famous books now, that didn't sell that many in their first years. So very, very, very promising start. You know, I've been checking and correlating, and I've deduced that if, you know, a lot of these highly successful books, you know, could succeed on what they sold, then Amygdala is doing very well indeed. And this is all without the audiobook, by the way. And people also need to remember that the book for the past year has been priced at like $60. And I can also say with great pride that the best-selling unit by far is the hardback.
She says it's red in here.
What?
It's very red in here.
It's red?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, they need to see me.
Oh, that's fair.
We trying to bully me, Colin? Bullying me live on air? But yeah, I estimate 7,000 by the anniversary. So the anniversary is the of the official public release. I think it's the 28th of February. So this time, so not this time next year, but like not this time next month. By the 26th or the 28th, whatever, of February, I'm hoping that we'll be at 7,000 copies sold. And then with the audiobook out, my goal is to maybe at least double that, or maybe triple it, because I think the audiobook will sell very well, because it's not just price, it's convenience. People love to listen to audiobooks on the road, in the bath, you know. So once the audiobook's out, it is my hope that will double or triple. But yeah, if we can get 7,000 copies by the anniversary, the first year of book sales officially, I'll be very happy. Because like I said, I know of a lot of very famous books that didn't sell that many. Books take time to spread in the public. Are you good, Carmen?
Yeah, I need to scan some stuff on my laptop real quick.
Okay. Told you Carmen was worse off than me. Been looking after her. So if I can, you're gonna make me cough now. Fucking hell. Sickening. Want some water, Carmen? Okay. So yeah. Let me go through some of these. Okay. Sean again, thank you so much. Christ. I am confident that you'll be over 1 million books soon enough, and all the companies in the world will be begging you to make it your movie. And then we have pseudonym anonymous. I assume that is because it cuts off. With $4.99. Thank you very much. I think what will happen is the book series. This is generally what happens. Like if you look at things like The Color of Magic, for example, the first book by Terry Pratchett, like that was The Carpet People. The Carpet People didn't sell very well, because it wasn't his real first crack at it. But the first book of The Color of Magic isn't what made the series successful. The Color of Magic became exponentially successful as the series continued, right? Amygdala, I think, has done better in the first year than the first Color of Magic book has. That's why I'm so confident and so happy with the book sales. So I think it will be a very similar case where the more books that are released, the more people are encouraged to get into the series. Obviously, there's only one book out at the moment. The audiobook will help, I think. So, we'll see. It's not. It's very difficult to compare because not a lot of. It's very. If you look, it's very difficult to find exact figures on how many copies other books sold, but you can usually sort of guesstimate. But yeah, the audiobook is coming out either next month or March, and hopefully with the audiobook in tow and the second book out, and as the series progresses, it will become more and more popular and people will pick it up. And yeah, Nix Pardus, $5. Do you organize your story in any way, or is it all in your head? I'm starting a graphic novel of my own, and I'm worried about over or under planning. So what I do is I just do like little chapter plans, and like I dedicate a paragraph to each part of the chapter, each scene. So here's what needs to happen in this scene. Here's what needs to happen in this scene. Here's what needs to happen in this scene, etc., 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 onward and onward and onward. And then when I actually go to writing the dialogue and stuff, I do audio notes and I act the scenes out myself. You know, like, what are you trying to say? Well, I'm trying to say that you're a little bitch. You know, so fucking I actually have, you know, the emotions of the characters recorded, and then when I'm writing, I've got like my headphones or earphone in, and I'm listening back to my improvised dialogue, and I'm cleaning it up, and I'm going through the scene, and that's how I do it. How do I feel knowing that art has reached here in Brazil, specifically southern Brazil? Jesus, southern Brazil. They wouldn't understand it, would they? What? Because I need to translate my stuff more. Maybe that is a line in the book. I will say, like, in terms of spin-offs, after I finish the August View, I will be doing a prequel trilogy that will cover the War of the Ladies, the Long Watch, and the Trade Revolution. You'll have a book each that will go through the origins of the Underbirth. That's the prequel series that I'll be doing after the August View. I will also be doing a sequel series somewhere else in the Kivawak, after the August View, and also some novels. So like we might get like, you know, a Shale backstory, her life leading up to the events. We might get some Celia detective novels, you know, shit like that. Stuff. Yeah. So like we'll get like smaller books that are about 50,000 words or shorter, just small little novels that I will publish. So if you have any favorite characters, they'll have a little library of books for you to read. I never want to stop writing about these characters in this world. I'm never going to stop. So yeah, the idea of doing a Celia detective series, or something with Wexel or Lucy or Lockett, I could even do like plays from Yeshua. So it's like you're like sort of like an Inspectacles or Jekyll and Hyde. You're actually reading a sort of in-universe play that was written by Yeshua and performed by these, sort of like an in-universe book. I might even do the Vanishing of Poppy Kelly, or Tales of a Horrid Mind, which is a horror compilation that's referenced in Amygdala, so you'll actually get to read the books that are in their world in real life. There's so many things that I'd love to do. So many things, and of course the adaptations. Once the August View is done, I would love to adapt it to a series, to an animated show of some kind that is, a legitimate piece of work. Well, I'm 26. First book's out, audiobook's on the way, second book's on the way. I'm not in any rush. Okay? I got time. Right. Anything else here? I do not believe so. I love how the thumbnail for the stream was Shad's art. That's fucking funny.
Did you not change it?
I did. I have now, but like, I guess, yeah.
It may update after the stream.
It may. I don't think Shad like fucking did very well in that debate. I know it was like a 2-on-1, so the Adam guy was chiming in as well, so it was a bit difficult to sort of keep track of who was saying what. But fundamentally, like, they did contradict themselves a few times. Like, you know, Shad was willing to outlaw AI personalities, but then he's not willing to like do anything with AI art. So that's it's like so the technology scares him. Like, AI scares Shad, but specifically art doesn't. It's weird to me. And the whole thing of like everyone will be able to create their own movies, the democratization of art, and it's like we were talking earlier about what art is. Art is to express your sort of your ideas, and so if everyone can just create their own art for themselves, like, oh, I don't want to watch their Batman film, I want to watch my Batman film. You're just projecting to yourself. You're just expressing to yourself what you already believe. Because why would you bother? If you can just make your own movie of whatever you want, and it's perfect for you, then you might say, oh yeah, well, that's paradise. Yeah! But no one's learning from each other anymore. We're not expressing, we're not connected anymore. You see what I mean? Why would I watch your Godzilla film when I can just make my own? You're not learning from your fellow animals. The connection is severed. This is the thing that they just don't fucking fundamentally understand about art. And this guy's a writer. He should know this.
He's a shit writer.
You could say that. But he's still a writer. He should know why he's writing. The purposes of that. To express. To share an idea. To translate some complexity of his world or his life to us. And so if everyone can just create their own in their own bubble, we're more isolated than ever, because it's just an oversaturation of shit. It misses the point of art entirely, which is to express. Express. My question is, to who? If you create everything for yourself, the answer is no one. Because you are you. You're not going to convince yourself of what you already believe. So what's the point? You've just killed art. It's dead. It's fucking over. And you want to fucking argue about this? Fine, go for it. You could say whatever the fuck you want. You could come up with any fucking backward fucking logic that you want. But fundamentally is you misunderstand the point of art. You know? Yeah, I quite like Shad as well. I'm not ashamed to admit. I think he was ballsy to come and talk to people. I respected the fact that he does speak to people. You know, I think that he's perfectly fucking pleasant. You know, it's just that I don't agree with him on this. I don't understand. I don't get it. How you can misunderstand the concept of your craft. Why are you making something? Why create this thing for your it must be for your fellow people. It has to be. I mean, sure, it can be for you as well. No, you can draw something and just enjoy it yourself, but you're not going to pull much from that. You know? Because you're you. It's already inside you. And I do believe that personal art can lead to self-exploration, but there's a greater measure of art. This sense of interconnectivity, this exportation of ideas. And there's so much of that's missing now, because you go online and you type in something, and most of it's AI now. You have to scrutinize every image and try and look for the fucking seventh finger. You know, your immediate joy of seeing a human being's soul is gone. Like, I don't think people fully understand this now. That's gone. That will never exist in the world again, ever. You will never be able to look at a piece of art and just enjoy it in that moment and be, it's extinct. They fucking killed it.
You're not going to be able to do that with even, like, regular pictures now because of propaganda.
Yeah. And you know what? If that makes me a Luddite, so fucking what? Whoever said that just because technology is what it is, it's good? Haven't you seen Jurassic Park? Don't you know that the technology isn't good by virtue of it existing? That progress can go in all sorts of fucking directions. And a lot of them can be bad. This idea that just because it's progress, it's therefore good, not necessarily. Or what should we just go back to fucking horses and carriages? I don't know. Maybe. Look at us as a species. What are we? Chronically online fucking ogres hiding behind cartoon profile pictures, fucking destroying one another because we're bored. Maybe we should grow our own fucking food or do something else. Maybe we should go outside and plant a fucking seed instead of whatever the fuck this shit is. I'm not impressed. I'm really not impressed with my fucking species, to be perfectly honest. I never really have been. I think most of us are fucking stupid. I think the internet is a failed experiment. You go online now, most of the shit on there's wrong. Social media is a fucking joke. It's just an excuse to enact our worst impulses as a species. You know, I hate it. I just hate it. The value of human interaction has been diminished. We cross the street instead of walking past each other now. We're scared to pick up the phone and talk. You know, and I'm not saying things were any better back in the day. They fucking weren't.
It's just technology allows us to see, like, more of it.
Yeah, it's just that now we've been exposed exactly. Now we're just seeing the reality. And it's depressing, isn't it? This is why, like, even though I do things online, and you know, this is why I wanted to write a book. This is why I wanted to write something that you can fucking hold in your hand, something that encourages people to look away from the screen and look at some paper, to go out in a nice field and read it. This is precisely why a book had to be the medium and not some fucking animation. I like animation and everything, and there will be a time for it. But, you know, I'm quite traditional in my beliefs. You know? I stroke a cat, go outside, find a nice field, go urban exploring, do things. Just fucking do things. God. Because it is the thing, because if we don't, we're fucked, aren't we? Can we just agree on that? That we're actually fucked as a species. Because let me paint you this picture, and this is coming to a future near you. Everything is automated. Cars are automated. Planes are automated. Fast food is automated. Movies are automated. Music is automated. Art is automated. All of entertainment is automated. Actors are automated. Cameras are automated. Everything in your life is automated. You do nothing. And you can sit there and say, oh, well, this allows us to explore a higher cause. Really? Fuck off. What have we done with the internet? Most people just fucking go online and do fuck all and get led astray by misinformation and become dumber than they were when they started. So what are we going to do? We're going to sit at home being paid by our governments to live, and we're going to fucking, with these fucking stupid fucking goggles on, you know, like this, you know, watching our own fucking Batman film, you know, procedurally generating our own ideas and feeding them back into our heads. Because anything alien or strange or unique, anything from someone else, it just isn't good enough. And that's it. That's your future. I envy all the old people dying right now. And sure, like, there's a lot of good that can come from this sort of technology. I agree with it. But, like, here's the thing. When this Neuralink thing kicks off and they do have the brain-computer interface, people are going to go for it. Of course they are. Because that's just the way it is. You know? It'll be the new mobile phone. You won't be able to access your bank without it. You won't be able to book your taxi without it. You won't be able to monitor anything without it. It'll be the new thing. You know? And then we'll fucking start getting into genetic engineering and we'll start fucking around with our DNA.
They're already looking into it.
Of course they're already looking into it. They've been looking into this shit for like the past 2 decades.
Yeah, I was about to say. Like, that's been a thing since like late 90s, early 2000s. I think before the 90s.
Yeah.
The only thing is there's like a big sort of ethical thing with a lot of stuff like that because there's a lot of embryo. It's kind of like the same with cloning, where there's a lot of embryos, but whenever they fiddle around with them, a shit ton of embryos start dying. That's kind of why cloning is a huge ethical issue.
Yeah. Fucking hell. $100 from Copperhead. Hello again, Copperhead. Thank you very much. This will all go towards rendering my next animation, by the way. Amygdala completely reconstructed my brain. After reading it, I saw how horrible my own story was, and I've started rewriting the whole thing. That's perfectly reasonable. I went through the same thing when I was writing Amygdala. I realized like how shit the first draft was, and I completely rewrote it. Don't worry about it. It's just a part of the process.
Also, Sam,
yeah.
The hybrid in the chat, they were asking, will the book series take place on Earth? I answered it, but I don't think they believed me.
Yeah, it'll take place on Earth.
Will it?
So sorry, no, it won't take place on Earth. Wait, sorry, no. Are you talking about the August View?
Yes.
Yeah, well, of course it doesn't take place on Earth. It's set in the Kibwak. Anyway. So yeah, fuck. Anyway, sorry for going on this fucking rant. Like, I'm not a nihilist or anything, but I am a realist. Like fucking. I am a bit of a nihilist in a way, because it's like, it's like, but I'm a nihilist with hope. I believe that a cultural paradigm shift is possible. I believe that human beings can. Like, here's the thing. I'm not against technological progress. I am against technological progress at the expense of cultural progress. Now, here's the thing. This is our cultural progress. This is our technological progress. We are down here. If our cultural maturity was up here, I wouldn't care. I think a mature culture could use AI in a very responsible way. If the culture was there, if the laws were there, if the protections were there, it could be an amazing tool. But our culture is down here in the ditch. So my job with books like this and things like that and whatever the fuck, and your job as well, is to bring the culture up. We need to catch up. We need to be worthy of this technology. I'm not for banning it, like Shad is. I am for being worthy of it. My problem is that I don't think we are worthy of this technology.
We're not responsible enough for it.
No, we're not.
Every day I get at least one ad or some shit on TikTok where it's just like, would you like to see your crush nude? Use this AI. It's like, wow, that is shitty. It should be illegal.
Sean,
it is in the UK, but I guess the US hasn't caught up yet on that with its lawmakers.
So Sean says, so what would be needed as a society to handle AI? Are there specific indicators? Well, here's the thing. For example, There are a lot of things that that can be regulated and controlled, like guns, for example. You know, guns exist. They're a real thing, but in Britain, you're not allowed them. You know, you're just not. That's just the way it is. In Europe as well, in most of the world, to be perfectly honest, you're not allowed guns. That's an example of regulation. It's regulating a thing that exists. Now, there's good things and bad things about that. The good thing is that, you know, it can help the general day to day. The bad thing is that someone controls those guns and it's not you. Is the thing the government never invents this technology, but they sure as shit control it. Would I trust our current day governments with AI? No. They would lead us into a fucking world war within a fucking millisecond, because it's not their lives on the line. Propaganda is my main concern. What happens when they decide, well, this guy's a problem, we're just gonna create a video of him or her doing this thing and get them killed? You know what I mean? Like I don't trust these people with this technology. So it's a good question, and I think it all comes down to the education system. I think the root of all evil in our fucking society, evil, I say with quotation marks, of all, I would correct that to the root of all incompetence comes down to the education system. Our education systems worldwide are awful. They don't teach you logical thought. They don't teach you how to manage your money or your bank account. They don't teach you how to be pragmatic or emotionally intelligent. They teach you things that you do not need to know, that you will never use in your life. And the reason they teach you this is because they want workers. They don't want creative, emotionally intelligent people. They want units that they can put to work and make money. That's what the education system is. It's what it was built for. To churn out workers. That's why the school uniforms exist. What are they for? They're to promote the workplace. Suit and tie. Yes, sir. No, sir. Obedience. And when you ask a question, oi, don't be smart. Don't ask questions. What, you think you're smart, do you?
They really analyze it. Asking questions and shit.
The education system is the problem. The education system is fucking the part where it all goes wrong. So fix the education system. There you go. Teach people how to be logical and pragmatic and mechanical. Teach people how to observe higher standards of evidence, how to scrutinize. Scrutiny. Teach them that. Teach them emotional intelligence, which is the rarest form of intelligence. You know? Teach them these things. And if you were to go to the roots of the education system and actually encourage these things, instead of just, you know, giving them an iPad and saying, oh, there you go, Sonny Jim, fuck off and just look it up on Google, with where most of the information's wrong anyway. You know. God. Anyway, I am gonna get some water. Do you want some water, Carmen?
Probably gonna have juice in a bit. Just trying to get some of these.
I'm gonna get some water now.
Okay.
Okay, now.
Let's find out. Okay, I can hear myself, like, slightly, but I would have to speak up more if I wanted to legitimately be heard. I'm not doing that.
Hello, Ed. What's going on there then?
Mecca says, I'm a gone when common sense is not so common. Common sense. Who came up with that? What tit thought it would be a good idea to call common sense common sense? Sure thing. Common sense. Alicia Barrett, £5. Thank you very much. Do you both have meds and water and maybe a vocal break soon? It's 1 a.m. and I'm concerned about you both coughing so much. Sorry to be a worrier. We've been like this for a few days.
I've been like this.
Well, Carmen's
since the year started.
Carmen's been like this for like a while.
I have to get new meds tomorrow.
She has a chest infection, so we're going to go and get her some new meds tomorrow.
The antibiotics had bad side effects. They helped, but
yes. I got bronchitis. No, but like, you know, fucking yeah, we're alright. We got tea. Do you want some of this water, Karen?
yeah, sure.
There you go. See that, Carmen?
Yes. Thank you.
You're welcome, Carmen. You owe me
What do I owe you?
much. You owe me many things. Right. Okay. So, well, that was a very. You're welcome. A very enlightening stream. So yeah. I think I'll leave it there now. I think that's covered quite a bit. Had a little rant. You know, 300,000 subscribers. You know, thank you very much for when that eventually ticks over. I haven't checked, but should be some point tonight. I wanted to do it to do it now because, you know, busy tomorrow. So yeah. Thank you all for watching the stream. It's been very, very enlightening for me. And yeah, I will bid you guys a good night. Thanks for watching. Bye. Alright, let's just end that. There we go. That was another stream, Carmen. Oh gosh, you know, fucking tell you what. I was just thinking, like, you know, all those people watching that stream. You know what I really think about them. God, I mean, just like, you know the way they type.
Yeah,
You know,
checks out.
you know the way they type. You can just tell.
Yeah.
You just tell the types of people they are. I mean, I can't, you know, I can't stand them, Carmen. Yeah, damn them. They fucking they piss me off.
Yeah.
I hate them.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I'll kill them. They're animals, and I'll slaughter them like animals. I hate them. Yeah, but do you know what I mean? Though they're like just you can see their little beady eyes looking at you from in the distance. You can just see them, Carmen. I'm not gonna fucking take it anymore, Carmen. I'm gonna cross the fucking bridge. I'm crossing over, Carmen. I'm gonna do something serious. I'm gonna do something that gets me on the news. I will not put up with it. Up with it, I will not put. This is gonna end now. This ends now, Carmen. This ends now.
They swapped those numbers.
They swapped their numbers?
They swapped those numbers. I knew it was 1216, one after the Magna Carta. As if I could ever make a mistake. Never. Like,
I am not crazy.
I just couldn't prove it. They covered their tracks. They got that idiot at the coffee shop to lie for them. Do you think this is something, Sam? Do you think this is bad? This chicanery? They've done worse. That billboard, you're telling me that a man just happens to fall like that? No, they orchestrated it. The chat. They defecated through a sunroof, Sam, and I saved them. And I shouldn't have. I took them under my own firm, and what was I thinking? They'll never change. They'll never change. Ever since they were 9, always the same. Couldn't keep their hands out of the cash drawer. But not our chat. Couldn't be our precious stream. Stealing them blind. And they get to be lawyers. What a sick joke. I should have stopped them when I had the chance. And you have to stop them.
I will. I will, Chuck. Every single person in that chat, they have no idea what's coming for them. They have no idea what's going to happen to them.